there! How are you doing today? Do you feel like doing a bit of DIYing with me? Come on in, let's get started. Are you somebody who wants to add that handmade, homemade, fall and harvest feel to your home this season, but you want to do it on a budget? Well, today I'm going to be showing you 10 quick, easy, budget-friendly, pumpkin spice inspired DIYs that are so stinking cute. You are not going to want to miss these. These might be my favorite fall and harvest DIYs to date. I can't wait to show you what I've come up with for these 10 DIYs that I think you're going to love. So I'm going to quit my gabbing. Let's jump into it and let me show you what I have in store for you for today. Let's get to it. Who is today's KB Creations Crafter of the Day? You'll want to stick around to the end of the video to see if it's your creation that's being featured in today's video. This is a footed mug. Guess where you can find it? At Dollar Tree. It is such a fun glass to use for this first DIY. For this first DIY, I'm going to paint this glass with this classic caramel. This is a multi-surface satin by Apple Barrel. I am loving this multi-surface paint. I'm finding that it really adheres well onto glass, hence because it is a multi-surface paint. So you're not gonna find that when you apply that first coat and it dries, when you go to apply that second coat, it doesn't lift that first coat up because it is a multi-surface paint. With a basic acrylic paint, you will find that the paint lifts when you apply that second coat. So it is best to pay the extra 50 cents and get the multi-surface paint. When doing a DIY, I find that it's easiest if you're using accent colors to just go in first with a base coat. Do your whole piece in that base coat, then you can go in and easily add those accent colors. So to this mug, and I am doing a great job again, keeping this in frame, I'm gonna add the accent colors to the handle and to the footed part of this mug because I think that doing that is gonna add character and personality to this glass versus just having it one solid color and maybe just adding some stitching. Oh, and trust me, there will be stitching to some of these DIYs, but not all of them. Look at how pretty that looks. Now these DIYs, I kid you not, were solely based around this rub-on transfer, this pumpkin spice and everything nice. Probably one of my favorite rub-on transfers for the fall and harvest season. Picked up several of them. You've seen them in maybe one or two of my fall DIYs. Well, I thought it was perfect to add to this mug, so that's what I'm gonna do. Ask me why that lid is sitting there. Yeah, spoiler alert maybe? Oh my word, I love the look of this. It's gonna get better. I'm gonna add some pink sand. Why am I adding pink sand? Well, because Allie had pink sand in her craft stash that she didn't want anymore. So instead of throwing it away, I knew I could use it as filler in a glass. And so that's what it's acting as here. Then I'm gonna go in with some of this all-purpose caulk. This is by Tool Bench. This is a caulking that you can get at Dollar Tree. If you buy it anywhere else, you're gonna pay more than $3 a tube. So it's best just to grab a couple tubes at Dollar Tree because it works great for adding whipped cream to the top of a pumpkin spice latte maybe. Now, while our whipped cream is still wet, before it dries, I am going to add a paper straw. This is one that I had in my stash for my tiered trays. Yes, it is blue and white, but it is soon to be brown. I just figured I'd paint it once it was good and dry. Then I'm gonna go in with some of this tube confetti. Can you guess which one I'm using? Yep, I'm going in with this copper colored brown because it screams fall and harvest and it can be used as sprinkles and it's not gonna bleed. In the past, I've used real sprinkles and I found that when I added it to the caulking when it was wet, the color from the sprinkles bled onto the caulking, which was a big bummer to me. I still continued to use it, but once I saw that Dollar Tree had this tube confetti, oh, it's perfect for sprinkles. These mini pumpkins, oh my word, they are perfect for this pumpkin spice latte, right? I'm gonna place 3 of them right here on top because look at how cute they are. They're everything on this latte. At some point, I did paint the straw brown, and the brown that I did use was the Chocolate Sprinkles by Apple Barrel, my new favorite brown. This piece screams everything fall and harvest, that pumpkin spice and everything nice. I love it. For this next one, we've seen these pictures at Dollar Tree from time to time. I had this in my stash. It's gonna get a good coating of that rustic orange that I make with the Hello Hobby pumpkin and a couple drops of brown, just to kind of mute out that orange and make it not so bright. Rustic it up a bit. I wanna say that it took me a total of 3 coats to get this coverage on the picture, and it's not even full coverage. It probably could have used a 4th coat. Boy, do I miss Waverly paint, because it really was a 1 coat, sometimes a 2 coat paint. But nonetheless, I am working with what I have. This color is amazing. Once I got those 3 coats on, yep, I'm gonna go in with some of that Chocolate Sprinkles brown and add some stitching to this picture because it needs it. Once I added the stitching, I was thinking, okay, self, this handle definitely needs to be brown because there is too much orange on this picture. Once I added the brown to it, I was happy. Have you seen these window cleans at Dollar Tree? Pick this set up because it's gonna go perfect with these DIYs that I'm bringing to you today. For this picture, I thought I would add the cinnamon sticks. These are great alternatives to stickers or vinyls. I feel like these add more personality. I feel like they're more detailed, they're super cute, and I love them. So to the back of the window clings, I did add some spray adhesive, and that really is the key to adhering them onto a surface. And yeah, I ran out of the pink sand, so now I'm going in with the purple because I want this to be a picture of cream, and I don't want to use 3 tubes of caulking to fill this up. So it's best just to add a filler. Then I'm gonna go in with what's left of this tube, which you can see is not very much. Come on, I am using this. It is good to the last drop. We are leaving none to waste. Once I've got enough in there, I am gonna go in there with some wet fingers. I added some water to my fingers, and that's gonna help just distribute the caulking a bit better. I'm gonna pinch it because I want it to look a bit frothy. How about adding a pinch or 2 of pumpkin spice seasoning to this? Because why not? Because we can. I'm not sure what I'm more obsessed with. The theme, pumpkin spice and everything nice, the colors of fall and harvest, or these window clings as embellishments? You tell me. These mini mason jars, you can find them at Dollar Tree just about all year round. They're made for seasonings. I'm using it for today's DIY because it's gonna make for a fun, quick, and easy, but adorable fall and harvest accent piece. So to this mason jar, it's gonna get a good couple coats of Apple Barrel's Chocolate Sprinkle. Alrighty, I guess we're fast forwarding in this DIY and just jumping right into adding the maple leaf cling onto this mason jar. I'm not seeing the footage where I actually painted the lid and added the stitching. Nonetheless, the color that I used for the lid is that Desert Tan by Hello Hobby, and just did the coordinating stitching. On the top of this lid, I'm just gonna go in with some Mod Podge and kind of dab it over the existing holes because this mason jar is not just a regular seasoning. Oh no, it is gonna be full of pumpkin spice sprinkles. Yes, well, okay, tubed confetti sprinkles from Dollar Tree. Oh my word, I love this DIY, so stinking cute. But I'm gonna add some twine to the neck of it because I feel like it needs it. Yeah, and a twine bow will finish this mason jar off perfectly. These jars are a must, so next time you're at Dollar Tree, pick up 2 or 3 or 5 like I did. Because this is a pumpkin spice and everything nice, I thought a sugar bowl would be a fun addition to these DIYs. And so with that, I'm gonna give this bowl a good coating of, gosh, I wanna say Desert Tan, but no, I am a cashew lover and I'm thinking that this is cashew. So yeah, go with some cashew, because I did. That lid you saw earlier, spoiler alert, well this is it. It originally started off being this cashew color when I realized, wait a minute, we can't have the lid the same color as the jar itself. So then I did go over it with some of the chocolate sprinkles to darken it up and add, you know what I'm gonna say, a bit of character and personality to this piece. Oh, and here we are, we're painting the lid to the mason jar here. Huh, well if this isn't out of order. Yeah, so the lid was not desert tan, it was cashew. Referring back to my window cling sheet, there were these acorns on there that I thought were the perfect size that would look adorable on this jar. Now, I will tell you, when adding spray adhesive to a window cling, it kind of rolls up a little bit if you don't move fast. And so in this case, I got a bit of the adhesive on the window cling, but it was an easy fix just by taking some Goo Gone and it wiped right off. And of course, I'm gonna finish this piece off with more stitching because it wouldn't be a DIY of mine if I didn't. Funny thing is that so many of you in my one DIY, gosh, what was it? Maybe a couple videos ago, had said that it was kind of my signature thing. And I don't know that I ever really thought about it that way, but you know what? I think you may be right because it wouldn't be a DIY if I didn't do it. A Kelly Barlow DIY anyway. Yep. Adding the brown lid was a definite must, and what a fun piece this turned out to be. Quick, easy, budget friendly, and it's an accent piece. Next up, I'm using a plate. These white plates seem to be the smallest plates that Dollar Tree had. Technically, this is a salad plate. The clear plates were a bit bigger, and I didn't need something that big, and so I looked for the smallest plate, and this was it, long story short. To this plate, it's going to get a good coating of that caramel apple barrel multi-surface paint. And yeah, enough said. We'll just watch as I do some stitching. Now, for those of you who have commented in the comment section about the ratio of water to paint that I use when doing my stitching to thin out my paint, I really just kind of water it down enough that it doesn't look like watered down paint, but it thins it out enough that the paint is actually keeping its pigment. Because what tends to happen is if you put a bit too much water in your paint when you do the stitching, your paint doesn't come out pigmented and a solid color. It comes out, I guess, watered down. And so, yeah, I add just a bit to thin it out so when I apply those stitching, they go on nice and smooth. Referring back to that window cling set, yes, there were these green leaves on this window cling set that I thought were gonna be perfect to add to this plate. Just a little something to give it more of that autumn and harvest feel and add a decorative feature to it, because why not? Guess why? Because we can. This plate is super cute, and there are a couple DIYs that we could add to this, so let me show you what those are. For this DIY, I worked my way over to the food section, the cookie aisle to be specific, and I grabbed this tin of Danish-style butter cookies. I actually really like these. I wanted to add cookies to the plate, but I didn't want to make them out of Play-Doh or clay because I wasn't feeling like I could do it. Believe it or not, I was feeling a little intimidated by that. I wasn't sure of a technique to use, and I was feeling a bit on the lazy side when it came to me that Dollar Tree has these tins of butter cookies that have these fun shapes in them. These are gonna work perfect. I'm not worried about the critters getting to them because I'm basically sealing these cookies when I paint them. So nobody's gonna be none the wiser that these were actually real cookies. They're gonna think that I made them out of clay or Play-Doh, which is fine, and I saved a ton of time doing it because they were already formed. Cool idea, right? If you wanna make them out of Play-Doh or clay, I say go for it, but yeah, look at this. I painted 4 cookies and I had a whole tin left to eat with my coffee. Win-win. I put a second coat of paint on these, and you can see that I put a pretty healthy coat because I'm gonna go in with the tube confetti and I'm gonna use it for sprinkles. And I didn't want to add Mod Podge to this. I figured it needed a second coat of paint anyway, so why not kill 2 birds with 1 stone? Put a nice thick coat of paint on there, and then I can add the sprinkles and they're gonna stick to the paint, giving me, yes, decorative sprinkled cookies that have that fall and harvest feel. and these can easily go on the plate. But hold on a minute, because do I have a DIY for this plate that you are gonna love using the Crayola Model Magic. Say that 3 times really fast. That's kind of a tongue twister. I picked up a few of these because they had them in white, which makes them easy to work with because you can paint it. So with these, I'm gonna take 2 packages of them. Crayola's Model Magic can be a little bit hard to work with, and I say that in the sense of it's a little bit hard to smooth it out and get the cracks out, get a nice smooth finish. The trick behind getting the cracks out and getting a nice smooth finish out of the Model Magic is to just wet your hands with water while working with it. And you'll find that it softens it up, it smooths it out, and it makes it a lot easier to work with. So just kind of dip your hands in water, work with your clay, get it to the form or the shape that you want it to be. In my case, I started off by rolling it in a ball because I want to make a slice of pumpkin pie out of this. Once I got it fairly well formed, I did go in with a bit more water, and you can see just how the water smooths it out and it really makes those cracks disappear. My pumpkin pie needs a crust, so I'm going to take the scraps that are left over from the 2 packages that I used for the pie itself. I'm going to roll it out nice and thin. Once I've got it good and thin, or the thickness that I want it to be, the thickness I want my crust to be thinned out, I'm gonna place my pie slice right on top. And yeah, it is still wet, so I used a spatula just to move it from point A to point B. And then using a butter knife, I'm gonna cut off that excess, clay, forming my pie crust. Ask me to explain what I'm doing here. This is the part that's gonna come up, on the back of the pie, that's gonna kind of hang over and kind of give it that decorative edge that you see on a pie crust. I don't even know what the right verbiage is, and I don't even have a word that we could even add to the Kelly Barlow vocabulary, because yeah, making pies just isn't my thing. But look, I made it. Now I'm gonna take a fork and I'm just gonna put those lines in it. I think they use a fork for the lines anyway, or do they pinch it? Or do they do both? Well, I'm adding the lines from a fork just to give it that decorative edge. I'm gonna let this dry overnight before I paint it. And it's gonna take about 12 to 15 hours to dry. Don't put it in the oven because it will crack. Guess what? It's the next day. I've got a few little minor cracks in it, but I'm not too worried about it. I think that the paint will fill it in. So going in with my pumpkin orange paint, I'm gonna give this a good couple coats of that. And I'm gonna use that caramel by Apple Barrel for the crust. This DIY probably is my favorite because once I got the pumpkin pie on the plate, look at how cute that is! How fun is that, right? What a fun DIY to make! But I'm thinking this pie needs a dollop of whipped cream. Yes! Oh my goodness, I love that. And then once I added the whipped cream, I decided to top it off with a bit of that pumpkin spice seasoning as well. So cute, right? But guess what? It could be even cuter. Wait for it. This last DIY I thought would be a cute and fun addition. It's using these utensils. These are wood utensils that you can get at Dollar Tree right about now. You're gonna get 12 in a pack, which is 4 sets. So to these, I'm gonna give them a good coating of the cashew paint. I wanted to add some kind of an embellishment to these utensils, but the window clings were on the larger side. There weren't a lot of small ones, so I went ahead and cut one up that had leaves on it, and just using a single leaf and adding a bit of Mod Podge to the back of it, I thought that these would be perfect for each of the utensils. And well, yes, of course. Am I predictable? I may very well be, but I choose to call it consistent. Look at how cute these are looking, but they most definitely all needed a twine bow on them. Look at how cute these are. They have such a rustic autumn feel to them. The leaves were perfect. Oh my goodness, wait until you see what I do with these. I wanted to add a little bit of texture to the knife. So taking some of the caulking and the orange paint, I thought it would be fun to add just a bit of this to the knife to make it look like the knife just cut through the pumpkin pie. I didn't want to just add the paint itself because then it wouldn't be elevated. So by adding the caulking to the paint, it is giving me that elevated look, and I can add it to the cutting edge of the knife. And I think that it's just finishing touches like this that kind of take a DIY to the next level. And would you look at how stinking cute this is? I love this. This takes me back to the days when I was a kid and I used to play with food, but I just love this because it has such a country rustic feel to it. I feel like this spoon would be super cute if it had some whipped cream on it. And to this whipped cream, oh yes, it definitely needs one of those mini pumpkins. Okay, I am loving all of these DIYs. They are so fun and cute. Let's go take a look at them all together. Who is today's KB Creations Crafter of the Day? It's going out to Tammy, who's bringing to us her Fallen Harvest tier tray. Tammy, I am loving how fun and festive your tray is. Thank you so much for sharing your creation with us today. Winnie, we're back to doing this again, aren't we? My love. Oh! Okay, do you want to say hi to everybody? Wait, no. No. Oh, you just want to lay down? Hold on. Say hi. Say hi, everybody. Hi, I'm Winnie. I'm Winnie, but my family calls me Fred for short for Winifred. I love you. Oh, thank you. Whoa, that was quite the lick. Hi, baby. I love you, Fred, so much. Give me a kiss. Mwah. Okay, lay down. I gotta film. I don't know that I can pick a favorite. I love all of these. Which one was your favorite? For these DIYs, I did stick with the traditional fall and harvest colors because of the theme, pumpkin spice. I love the way these DIYs turned out, and for those of you who are wondering about the flower pot, there was not a DIY in today's video for that because that was a DIY that I came up with in my last mystery box challenge with Courtney over at Creative on the Cheap. Until next time, everybody, I hope you have a fantastic day. Happy crafting on a budget. Stay happy, stay safe, stay healthy, but most of all, stay positive, please. 'Cause I am. Bye for now, everybody.